Gary Franchi here, Next News Network, and look who just walked off stage. We have the man himself, the man of the hour, Darren Bailey. He's just announced his run for the governorship of Illinois, and the crowd inside was absolutely electric. But there were some folks outside that had something to say about Darren Bailey.
Yeah, so we're out here protesting Darren Bailey because he's anti-worker, anti-women, anti-immigrant. We'd say nobody wants you here. You know, just go back to where you came from. You're not going to be governor.
Well, clearly there's quite a few people that do want you here. What is your reaction to people like who are outside? These are your constituents. How do you win over people like that? Are they able to be won over?
I believe so. During my time as a state representative and a state senator, that's really what set me apart and elevated me to be able to run for governor, because still to this day, people remember when I stepped out from the assembly when business was being taken care of and went out front to the Lincoln statue, to where maybe they were just holding a rally, maybe they were protesting. I always went out and I listened and I said, hey, what's going on here? And even in my own district, when people disagreed vehemently with me, I would tell them, let's meet somewhere, let's sit down, I will listen. So as the gentleman suggested, unfortunately putting up walls like that, I mean, at the end of the day, we as Americans have more in common than that which separates us. We have to realize that, and we need to work together on what we all have in common. And I think when we do that and when we listen to each other, we will begin to better understand each other, and then by golly, we might just start working together. So,
well, that's what we need. The American people need to work together. There's a great divide right now in this country. The political climate is at a point where I've actually never seen anything quite like this. We just witnessed the assassination of Charlie Kirk, God rest his soul. Clearly a turning point for this nation. Just yesterday, we saw ICE agents who were attacked by a sniper. That sniper was inspired by the shooter of Charlie Kirk. We now know that he was watching Charlie Kirk's assassination video repeatedly. So there's a level of rhetoric that is it's an inflaming situation here. Now on the left, they want to say that it's on the right, but clearly we've seen Democrats over the last several years, Maxine Waters, push back on them. If you see them in a grocery store, if kick them when they're down. You see all this rhetoric. They want to take Donald Trump behind the woodshed and punch him in the face. This is the rhetoric that we're hearing. I didn't hear any of that rhetoric tonight from you.
Yeah, that's dangerous rhetoric. That's rhetoric that's coming from the other party, and that's the kind of rhetoric that destroys a republic and it destroys a nation. So I think we've got to be the party to stand up, to offer hope, to let people know that we can do this. We've just got to come together, sometimes set aside our differences. And obviously from this rhetoric that we're hearing, that's a hard thing to do right now. But at the end of the day, the gentleman spewing about how I'm anti-worker, anti-Trump, anti-woman, he's got the same issues in Illinois as I do. Taxes are too high. Utilities are too expensive. The opportunities are missing. So I think if when we get elected and we go to work on those issues, I think that's going to earn some respect, and maybe some of that just foul talk will begin to go away and subside.
Well, I just saw in the hallway here on the stage women walking around, Women for Bailey with the pink T-shirts, very excited. So clearly, I don't think you're anti-woman. I think the evidence speaks for itself. Now, I'm a citizen of Illinois. I've lived here my whole life. Sadly, we see so many people leaving this state. People surrendering, people who have run for office here and have decided that they don't need to spend any time in this state anymore. But you're here, you're not surrendering. I'm here, we're still fighting for this state. What do you say to people who feel like they have been so victimized by the corruption in the state and oppressed by the taxation here? You talk about hope. Give those people a message. Give me a message, because I often think sometimes I do want to leave this state because it's difficult. I mean, we see what they want to do with kids in schools. They want to, even for homeschooling, the bill that came out, and thankfully it was shot down. They want to put oppressive policies on families that just want to raise and educate their children. Talk to us about that hope. Give us hope for what is coming next in the Bailey administration.
So I think that's what I offer to the people. We've had back-to-back billionaire governors, and that's not working out, very good for us. J.B. Pritzker has absolutely nothing in common for 98 or 99% of Illinoisans. So obviously he doesn't struggle and have the same issues that we have. So, my time in the General Assembly, my time standing up, running for governor 4 years ago, I think that I've showed the people, you can invest some trust in me. I will stand up and fight for you. I will not waver. And we can fix this stuff. We can begin to create change on day one, but we have to start electing people. And it doesn't just start at the governor's office. It starts at the state rep. It starts with the senators. I'm going to have people, the people that are actually making the laws that we're going to be working with. So I ask people, wherever you run to, wherever you go to, Tennessee, Texas, Florida, those are targeted states as well. I believe what we are dealing with is headed to those. Let's fight for Illinois. Illinois is our home. Illinois is a great state. Illinois has had the history of our state, is securing the foundation of our country for, since the Civil War and beyond. We are an important state. Let's get our economy back on track. Let's get taxes under control. Let's keep our kids right here with their futures in Illinois. That's what we're fighting for. And quite simply, I need people to support and stand right along with me to do that.
We're in the land of Lincoln. You are currently in the state assembly. And he is the chief executive of our state, J.B. Pritzker. What's it like working in the state assembly with him as the chief executive?
So I haven't been in the state assembly since I ran for governor. When I ran for governor, I was a senator those 2 years. So here's something interesting. I got elected as a state representative the same year that he got elected as governor. So that was in 2019. On Inauguration Day, Cindy and I were in a hotel in Springfield. I came downstairs 5 o'clock in the morning when Starbucks opened to get Cindy a coffee. Guess who the one person was sitting in that coffee shop? As I walked in, J.B. Pritzker was sitting front and center reading the newspaper. So I walked up to him. It was only us. I walked up to him, shook his hand, introduced myself, and started talking about, hey, why I'm running, lower taxes, we got to help the people. And that man stood right up and told me the exact same thing. Darren, I've got children, and I'm fighting for the same thing. Well, I can't wait to work with you, sir. And from then on, so your question, what is it like to work with him? He doesn't care. He doesn't pay any attention. He doesn't desire for any change. This is a steamroll process for his agenda. I mean, he's a bully. He's a trust fund billionaire. He has nothing in common with the rest of the people of Illinois. So he's immune to all the problems and difficulties that we're living under.
Recently, I've seen some social media posts by Governor Pritzker, and he has been posting on X these morning walks. He'll take a selfie video, and it'll be like 5 o'clock in the morning, and he'll be like on the south side, on the lakefront, just east of Lakeshore Drive. And he's trying to have these walk and talks. It feels like he's trying to draw people in, make people think he's a normal guy. I'm talking about he likes to listen to Bruce Springsteen. But I also think he's trying to somehow impress the American people, or really just the people of Chicago, that Chicago is a safe place. And quite honestly, I don't feel safe going to Chicago. Now, we know President Trump has just dispatched the National Guard. We know that ICE is conducting operations. Brandon Johnson has refused federal help. He can't even answer straight when he's talking to the Morning Joe show about how many police officers they need to conduct it. He even calls police a problem. Law enforcement's a problem. So, with respect to the law enforcement situation and what Governor Pritzker is doing on these walk and talks, what's your take when you see him? For me, it's political theater. I just want to know what your take is when you see that.
Of course it's political theater. I wish we could get a picture of the entourage of state police that are there with him as he's taking that walk at 6 o'clock in the morning along Lakeshore Drive. I'd love to see him, and I've challenged him to get out to East Garfield Park, West Garfield Park, 10 and 11 o'clock at night when children are outside, when families, I mean, that's just when people are outside, even sometimes late, that's when all this nonsense is happening. But you won't see him show up there and have a conversation about that.
Last question. President Trump, he is the law and order president. We're seeing what's happening now in Memphis. Louisiana is next. Chicago, obviously, and what he did in Washington, D.C., remarkable. How will your administration support the president's efforts to combat crime? And can you use the State Guard? Can you help President Trump with the State Guard and other parts of the country?
I think people forget sometimes that one of the one of the reasons why why a president can enact the National Guard is because of an invasion, and I think it's obvious that we have an invasion of people who are here illegally. So it needs dealt with. People don't feel safe in Chicago, and President Trump is offering a solution. So as governor, I want to make sure people understand I will work with any president. There will be no partisan politics when it comes to the safety of people, especially. My gosh, take a look at Labor Day weekend, 58 shot and 8+ killed. How bad does it have to get? So the really shameful part of all this is that Brandon Johnson and J.B. Pritzker, they're saying that people's lives don't care when they reject help to come in.
Excuse me. Well, I thank you for your time. I know you've got to run, and I wish you the best of luck in this campaign. Big, beautiful day here in Oak Brook. We're at the Drake in Illinois. And again, I wish you the best of luck in your campaign.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.